before. Now here's another one for you. Say The Rock wins his IC title and then ends up. Now, before you answer this, I want you to think of how creative on both sides would run each show and how they would book people.
Okay.
Rock wins the IC title over in WWE and says, "Screw it, I'm not going to get a push here. I'm going to make more money in WCW." Say The Rock goes to WCW. What's your outcome?
I think The Rock. Oh, okay, Coastal. Good.
We'll start with Coastal, yes.
I didn't know.
We'll start with Coastal.
So, hold on, gathering some thoughts. So Rock wins IC title, basically pulls a Shane Douglas. Probably drops it at that time either to Triple H or
Owen?
I don't know, Owen. Maybe he drops the Bulldog on the way out. I don't know. He leaves. I think he's still pretty young. He probably he debuts on Nitro, definitely. Maybe doesn't jump right in with Hogan. I think that's probably the ultimate end goal with them, obviously, is to get him with Hogan earlier.
Or do you think he becomes the leader of the NWO later on?
No, I don't think he joins NWO. I think he comes over. I think they keep the babyface on him because he talks, and everybody in WCW at that time in wrestling loved talkers. I think you have him feud with probably... maybe have him feud with a Booker T for the U.S. title to begin with. You give him a decent U.S. title run. He maybe drops it to Paige or Booker T again. Then you have him maybe at Halloween.
This is fantasy booking at its finest, folks. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! I wasn't expecting
that. And challenge Hogan maybe after Hogan Piper, instead of going the other way, you have and do another Piper about that time. Maybe later, instead of Warrior, you have Hogan and Rock lead up to Starrcade. Maybe that makes Sting not a factor in the Crow Sting. Who knows? That's tough at that point. Maybe you have him and Sting go at it after that Starrcade. Jeez, that would be cool. After Starrcade 97, after Sting wipes out Hogan, then you have The Rock take on Sting. And that's your Bash of the Beach matchup. I think either ultimately you end up him Sting, him Hogan. I think it might make it drag on another 2 years maybe, but I still think WWE wins. The star power of Taker, Michaels, Triple H, Austin, it's too much.
Marky Pins, I see you were about ready to say something.
Well, yeah, so when you...
I mean, that's tough to lead. I mean, that was fancy booking in under 2 minutes. That's pretty impressive right there. You just covered like 2 years worth of fucking a wrestling card right there.
I don't know. I'm going to take the other route of it. So when you said about how, what could happen if he goes to I don't know how well it goes for him, to be honest. In a best case scenario, maybe not best, but in one case scenario where it does go very well, he feuds with NWO, he does feud with Booker T and wins belts and stuff and rises to pro. I don't know if you get The Rock as we know The Rock, if he goes over there. I don't know how well it goes after a while. If he starts becoming too big, how does Hogan and Nash
do we get that
Bischoff,
doesn't work for me, brother?
I don't know. It's quite possible. It's entirely possible he doesn't get the TV time over there. I mean, look at a guy like a Chris Jericho who had all of it and then some. It didn't go so great over there for him for a long period of time. If you get The Rock in all of the full rock star power, like let's say you replace The Rock with how Bret Hart went over there. You had a guy that had all the star power in the world. He was like a walking machine gun of star power. And that didn't go so good for Bret Hart over in WCW. I know Rock is a lot younger, and it's a different generation.
Honestly, to be fair, Eric Bischoff butchered that. They never should have come out the night after the screw job with the Canadian flags. They never should have let on that he was coming. It should have been saved for at Starrcade, because you already had everyone tuned into Starrcade because of Sting Hogan. He should have come out then. He should have premiered at the end, and he should have looked at Sting and pointed, and it should have been Battle of the Scorpion Deathlock Sharpshooter. Sorry, that's fantasy booking again. You go.
Love it. Love it. But I'm not 100% convinced that we get the legendary, elite, electrifying one of The Rock that we get if he stays in WWE and has his feuds with Austin and joins a corporation and the whole bit. I don't know if we get that.
You might not. It's one of these at this point. It's
right. It's a coin flip. Do we still get the same guy that has all the potential in the world to blow the roof off of any arena that he's in? He has all the potential in the world. Is it allowed to be fulfilled and recognized? We don't know how well Bischoff liked it or would have stuck with Rock. Maybe Vince has the thing with the Samoan boys, loves to keep them on TV. They're strong. They're great. Mm-hmm. They're great on the mic. They've always had a TV presence in WWE or FE all the way through. Do we know if Bischoff gives him 3 months and if it's not working out as good as he wants? Or what if it's working too good and you do get, hey, man, I don't know about this kid, brother. I don't know about how much.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
We don't know. I don't really know. I personally just don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling that we get the same Rock that we get if he stays in WWE. Does WWF still win the war? I still say yes.
I mean, you have so many personalities.
Correct. I don't know if they use.
You have Nash, Hogan, right. Scott Steiner, Eric Bischoff, like those four right there, and then you throw. Does Russo go over if Rock leaves? Yeah. It's a lot of. I mean, I was talking best case scenario, but I like how you kind of.
Well, that was one very positive case scenario, but I was thinking to myself, I don't know if. Do they hang on to him for long enough? Do they allow him to have as much time to realize, to practice?
You were subscribing to the theory I have where the grass is greener on the other side because it's fertilized with bullshit.
You know, does he get the mentor of Farouk and maybe some of the other guys behind the scenes? No. Does he get somebody else over in W? We don't know.
Booker T's kind of too young at that point to mentor him. And I don't say that because I know I made it sound like Ron Simmons, Booker T. Oh, they're black. Rock has to go with that. No, I'm just saying those are two guys that are similarly the same size, have a similar background. Ron Simmons was a standout football star. Rock was a standout football star at Miami.
Yes.
Booker T is the same size, works the same style as him. Those are two guys that paralleled Rock that could have taught him a thing or two in the ring, and probably did.
Damn straight.
Honestly. Yeah.
Damn straight. I'm sure Ron Simmons taught Dwayne so much through the years, moves, and then just knowledge of, just like you said, just driving up the road, sitting in the car for 4 or 5 hours, just sitting there, and Simmons is telling him all about his matches all through the years. You know, beating Vader for the world title.
Here's how you work with a big guy. I worked with Vader, and he's super stiff. Here's how you work with that and make it work to your style.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We don't know if we get that Dwayne or that Rock.
You might not.
Sunday, what do we got?
So, if The Rock goes to WCW in that era, Rock becomes The Rock because he's The Rock. I mean, he's gonna shine. They were gonna give him the chance. He's not Chris Jericho. He's not a cruiserweight.
That's so what I was alluding to.
That's what kept Chris Jericho back, was he was a cruiserweight. It's also a guy that has the heritage of his father and grandfather. It's also a guy that they got from WWF, so they want to make him a star because they got him from there to prove it. But what I think happens, he becomes a star over there. He realizes how poorly run it is, and he wants to go back. He spends a year and a half, 2 years, and he wants to go back.
So you still think that WWF wins the war at that point?
Correct. Still. But The Rock still becomes The Rock because that's who he was going to become. I don't think there's any chance that he doesn't become the monster star, no matter what company he was in.
Do they give him the freedom to do what he does, though? Yeah.
Yep. There was as much freedom
I don't think
there.
So.
Yeah. Oh, without question, he gets the freedom to do his stuff. Without question.
Well, I think there is a question, and I think it comes in the form of, and I've said it a couple times already, it doesn't work.
Don't say Vader. We have had a good fucking route right now. No Vader tonight.
Hold on. You say that, but Hogan has a different feel for guys like The Rock, who have the history of the business, the legacy, the father, the grandfather, people that Hogan wrestled against when he was, coming up as well. It's different than when it's Billy fucking Kidman. You know what I mean? It's different.
I understand that. And don't take anything away from Hogan with Billy Kidman. That was a good program. They both did well in that.
Yeah.
My thought is Hogan has a respect for that, but he ain't putting you over.
He put
And I
over,
still think
plenty
the
of
only
people over. He put over Goldberg.
He did.
he put over Goldberg because
Because
Eric Bischoff probably paid him a lot. And he knew it's Crash TV. It's Crash TV. He knew it was ratings. Everything was ratings then.
And Rock would have been ratings. He knows it. He put over Goldberg on his plan. He calls up Bischoff and says, "This is what we're gonna do." And Bischoff went, "Are you sure, Hulk?" "Yep. This is what we're gonna do."
Hogan also had back surgery like 3 weeks after that and was out for 4 months.
Sure, but
he put him over because he knew it was smart because he was going to be gone. He doesn't put The Rock over that young. He did it WrestleMania. And the only reason that happened is because the crowd, he shook his hand and everything after and put him over that way. The only reason that he put Goldberg over is because he was going on the shelf. Goldberg probably would have had his streak broken if Hogan could have kept going.
Hogan's put so many people over in his career. So many people over in his career. He lost the world title to The Undertaker.
Hold on, I'll counter that because Ric Flair put a steel chair under him when he got tombstoned. Granted, he missed, but he still put it under him. That's one fuckery. Continue with the Hulk Hogan.
He still put him over. He still lost. He lost the title to that guy.
Not clean. Not clean.
It doesn't have to be clean. He was the face. The faces don't lose clean. That's how it works.
Okay.
I
don't know how you put someone over not clean. You're not losing. You're not proving they beat you. You're talking about putting people over.
That's what putting somebody over is losing a match.
So my counter to that was that it was at that era where no matter what happens to the face was going to be the face, the heel was going to be the heel, and if the face lost, then whether face it was clean or dirty, he's Hogan's still going to be strong after that. Taker's going to be stronger as a heel, and remember, Taker lost it a couple days later, so it wasn't a big title run for Taker.
Tuesday in Texas. Yeah.
Hogan got the title back,
but I'm just saying it's. And you're running with something where I was starting with one guy and I was going to go with like 10 others. He drops it to Taker. He drops it to Warrior. He the up and coming star. He drops Hogan would drop titles to guys. Hogan would get beat. Yeah, a lot of them weren't clean, but that's how wrestling was written back then. The face didn't get beat clean. That's how it was.
And that's how you beat the face more than half the time. Hold on.
Here's my justification. Not so much putting people over. Hear me out on this. No one outshines Hulk Hogan. And I will do this. WrestleMania 4.
Now we're back then.
He made sure that Macho Man, he was in the ring. He gave him up.
Gave Macho the
Ultimate Warrior, same thing.
Yeah, giving him the rub.
Yokozuna. No, we can't have Yokozuna do anything cool. I'm gonna beat him 9 seconds after he won the belt. No one outshines Hogan.
And that Yokozuna thing was not Hogan. That was 100% not. That was Vince going, Hulk, can you do me a favor?
But Hogan had creative control even then. The thing I'm getting to is it's a coin flip. The Rock may have been The Rock, but The Rock may also have been sabotaged by egos like Hulk Hogan, Bischoff, Nash, Hall, Scott Steiner. It was politics in WCW. It was at that point Vince was like, I'm still Vince McMahon, but I'm going to let whatever makes me a shitload of money make me money. And Bischoff was more like, and granted, Bischoff was handcuffed by standards and practices at a point. But in the Attitude Era, when that stuff was really happening, it was kind of like, Bischoff just wanted him and Hogan to be the center of attention. And I get that because it did sell tickets. It put asses in seats.
They made themselves a lot of money.
They really did.
It also destroyed the company in the long run.
Yeah. But they cut about 5 years off their longevity in doing all that. That's kind of my thing. It was a coin flip, or a blender filled of things whether or not you get The Rock. I don't think it's guaranteed you get The Rock as we know The Rock in WCW. I think we get a version of it, but I just think that too many politics, not just Hogan, I just think too many politics come into play, and we're not 100% sure if we get The Rock.
See, I that's you're saying almost what I said. I just think you get The Rock, but the politics come into play, and he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit. He leaves. You know, because he's still the Rock, no matter what.
But then
it's still Dwayne.
But then he's not The Rock when he comes back to WCW, because Vince has a shitty. Just he holds grudges against people that leave and come back.
Yeah.
He did, he's done it to multiple people.
Hulk Hogan.